Okay, good morning to all. Since we are running short of time, so I supposed to take this session at 12 o'clock. So my allotted time is 12 to 12:45. So we are at now 12:30. So before lunch session, I'll try to complete this Ph.D. regulation. You might have seen Ph.D. regulation, which is readily available in our website, Center for Research website. While doing PhD, it is not necessary to remember all kind of points included in the regulations. However, there are some important points you should know, because at last minute where we have seen many of the scholars without noticing the regulations or guidelines given in a website, they committed some sort of mistake, and due to that Center for Research not in a position to accept synopsis as well as thesis. Then the student as well as the supervisor, they try to overcome those issues. It's a kind of a mental agony at the time of completion of PhD. So that's why in every induction program, so intentionally we add this session, PhD regulation. Thereby, in this lecture, I'll try to clarify whatever the doubts you have in this PhD program, and also I will cover up some important details with regard to PhD regulation. Next, you should know what it says actually regulations, right? What our regulations actually based on UGC. UGC suggested a certain guidelines, right? Those guidelines useful to complete PhD program. Like in as of now, 2% of world population has PhD degree. So very soon you are going to add in that group, right? So actually in India, as per our All India Higher Education Survey, right, we have produced more than 25,000 PhD in the last 21-22. 25,000 PhD from all over universities. There are around 1,100 universities in India, right, from which 25,000 plus PhD scholars received their PhD degree. We are behind USA. USA per year they produce around 68,000 PhD per year. So we are like at 25,000. In the sense, see, the country, the Slovenia in Europe, that is a country, number one country in terms of producing more number of PhD in their population, world population. 5% of population from Slovenia, they have a PhD degree. Then next to Slovenia, Switzerland. So we are actually in fourth position. So this number of PhD degree increases every year, and the more number of students join, because in our country, the gross enrollment ratio, which is 27%. In the sense, out of 100%, out of 100 students, 27 students joined in PG program and the research related program. So our country, government, so have planned to increase this 27% to 50%. Accordingly, the UGC every 5 years, they modify the regulations. So based on the regulations, we adopt UGC regulations. Recently also, you might have seen on our website, we have released some guidelines related to how many students one supervisor can take. That is the guideline given by the UGC. We immediately adopted. So what I am trying to say is, whatever the condition given by or suggested by UGC, we immediately adopt based on the approval of research board. Based on the approval of research board. Okay, so straight away we'll move on to the regulations. The regulations like there we have so many class in regulation. Regulation 1 and 2. Regulation 1 and 2 it discusses about eligibility. Because based on the eligibility only you are here, right, and the educational qualification. And 3 speaks about PhD admission, mode of PhD admission. Every year we take the scholars, PhD scholars, to join PhD program in our university. Class 3.1 it talks about full time. See, there are 2 mode of admission. full-time admission and part-time. Part-time classified into internal and external. See, the teaching fellows and the faculty members, right? If they want to join Ph.D. here, they are treated as internal scholars, part-time internal scholars, and the faculty members working in affiliated college, they call it as external scholars. This 3.2.3, this 3.2.3 which speaks about what's your working place. If the student attached with the mechanical department, that is the working place for the supervisor. That's the working place for the scholar. Supervisor working place, which is nothing but scholar working place, right? If part-time faculty working in affiliated college but doing research at Anna University in electrical department, that scholar working research working place is nothing but the electrical department, not affiliated college where he is working, right? That's the meaning of research scholar working place. The class 3.3 which speaks about change of category, there are two mode of PhD program, part-time and full-time, right? If you are in part-time full-time program, suppose due to some reasons, like you got job somewhere else, and if you wish to switch over from full-time to part-time, yes, it is permitted as per our regulations, but for which you have to produce supporting documents like appointment order, right, and everything, and you should get permission, or your request letter should be forwarded by your supervisor and the supervisor head of the department. Remember, any letter if you want to submit to Center for Research, that must be routed through supervisor and as well as the head of the department, right? Without these two signature, we won't consider scholar letter, because whatever the request you want, right, your supervisor should know, and the supervisor department also should know very well, right? So that is okay. Change of category which is possible only once under extraordinary circumstances, right? Again, suppose a full-time to part-time, you joined somewhere else in company, right? You are doing PhD, working in the company, right, with your supervisor. Suppose due to some reason you want to switch over from part-time to full-time, that is possible, but there must be a valid reason why you want, because as per norms only one time changeover is possible, but second time it is possible, for which you must submit with a strong reason. You must submit a letter to CFR with a strong reason. Again, that must be forwarded by your supervisor, endorsed by head of the department. You got it? Coming to, okay, this is not related to you, research department recognition. This is related to supervisor, so I will simply skip this one. This mode of selection, which is based on written test, from written test 70% of the marks weightage given to the written test, 30% of the weightage which is given to interview, right? So you passed all there is a cutoff mark in written test, right? Based on the cutoff mark, whoever scored more than that cutoff mark, then those students are allowed for interview. From interview, out of 30, student score some mark, put together written test and interview, finally the research board. Okay, we will decide all these marks, what is the minimum mark. So there is a research board in our university. This board, which contains around 25 members, these members are comprising of from IIT Madras, here as of now IIT Madras, and member from our own university, and the member from affiliated college. So by comprising all these members, so in the meeting where we decide about cutoff mark. So the cutoff mark, based on the cutoff mark, so whoever scored more than that, then finally those student selected to join for PhD program. The admission. Coming to class 6, it speaks about admission, right? So the admission here, it says allotment based on faculty based on PG specialization. Okay, this point, there are some students facing the problem with the class 6.1. Say for example, to join ME program in energy engineering, say for example, that's attached, offered by Department of Mechanical Engineering. To join ME energy engineering, eligibility like a mechanical student can do ME Energy Engineering program. Electrical student also where can pursue ME Energy Engineering program. So there are two different cross discipline. Chemical engineering also possible, agriculture engineering also possible. So what I am saying is to do master program for any degree, right, from different branches where the students are allowed based on the university conditions. Say for energy, electrical possible, mechanical possible, chemical possible, right. These different branches students, they come and join us ME Energy Engineering program. Once student cleared the ME program, if that student wants to pursue PhD program here, now the question is in what name the student can register PhD program, either electrical engineering or mechanical engineering or agriculture engineering. Like a student from electrical engineering completed ME program in mechanical engineering and is the PhD registered in mechanical, not in electrical. You got it? It's based on PG specialization. But your BE degree, BE in electrical, ME in energy engineering offered by mechanical, right? Your PhD registered in mechanical engineering only, not in electrical engineering, right? But your PhD program, which is fully related to electrical engineering, but you are registered under mechanical engineering. So what you can do is you should write a letter while conducting the synopsis meeting. Before synopsis meeting, you should submit a letter to Center for Research stating that my research program related to electrical engineering, I have done all my coursework from electrical engineering field, right. So you please award my PhD degree in electrical engineering. Like that, if you submit a letter through your again supervisor and the head of the department, there is a committee. The committee, in the sense, chairperson from mechanical engineering, chairperson from electrical engineering, they decide whether your claim is logically correct or not. Then finally, once your claim is correct, and remember the committee also review the publication made by you, because at the time of synopsis you should submit this request letter to Center for Research to change the faculty, right, from mechanical to electrical. So they refer your coursework, they refer your publication, they refer your research work. If all these aligned with the electrical engineering, right, then they change your PhD registration from mechanical to electrical engineering, right? Because nowadays everyone talking about interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, like a ECE student registered PhD in computer science or vice versa. Like now the question is where in what name student get degree, PhD degree, in ECE or computer science, right? It is possible, like if you are in ECE, but if you want to do PhD in computer science, you want degree in computer science, right? All your PhD research area and the publication, coursework, everything must come from computer science, then only you will get degree in PhD, you will get PhD degree in computer science. Otherwise, unless otherwise, PhD degree will be awarded based on your PG specialization. Got it? Okay, then this is the point with regard to faculty based on PG specialization, right? And okay, this is also not related to you, this is supervisor recognition. Okay, change of supervisor. Yes, this is very important to you, right? If you want to change your joined PhD program under one supervisor, right? Due to some reason, like if you want to change a supervisor, from X faculty to Y faculty, right? What is the procedure? By the time you would have crossed 3 years of a PhD program, 4 years of PhD. See, at the beginning, if you want to change a supervisor without much difficulty, right? The change of supervisor, which is approved by the Center for Research. But after crossing 4 years period of time, 5 years period of time, right? Already with X supervisor, you made one publication, but due to some reason, some friction between supervisor and scholar, the scholar decided to change the supervisor to Y. You should get no objection from supervisor, because of the supervisor knowledge only you have made publication, right? You have completed all your coursework, and supervisor would have transferred his knowledge during this 4 years program or 5 years program. So it is essential to get no objection from supervisor. But already supervisor and scholar, they have friction, right? Some supervisor never, if never gives no objection, because due to some misunderstanding between supervisor and the scholar, the supervisor not allowed to meet the scholar, then it is not possible to get no objection certificate, right? So at that time you should write a letter to Center for Research stating that this is the reason I would like to change the supervisor from X to Y. My supervisor not in a position to forward my request letter, and also I could not able to get an NOC from my supervisor. Kindly do the needful, right? Okay, now we will find Y supervisor. It's an option from you, right? You can choose your new supervisor, right? Or suppose you do not know, or you are not in a position to find out a new supervisor, right? You can write a letter. You can meet head of the department of the supervisor, right? Head of the department recommend some alternate supervisor, or you don't want to continue your Ph.D. program in the particular department, you want to change the other college, because there is some chaos in the department, so you don't want to do research in the same department. Well, you can go other institution, but the other institution also where you do not know who is your Y supervisor, don't worry at all, we are here to help you, right? You just write a letter, and whatever the fact, right? You just mention and you submit a letter to CFR, we will take appropriate decision. We will find out Y supervisor, right? So that is change of supervisor, which is possible, right? So suppose your supervisor gone to abroad for his postdoctoral or to execute his research, some collaborative project at abroad, right? So where at this intermediate period of time, we allocate a supervisor in charge, right? Maximum 1 year it is possible. It happens in many faculty members, they go to abroad and they do projects, or they do service at some foreign universities. So at that 1 year period of time, we will allocate a supervisor in charge. So we will decide supervisor in charge. Your supervisor will nominate who is going to act as supervisor in charge, right? So based on your supervisor request letter, we will provide a letter, or we issue a letter order that so and so person going to act as a supervisor in charge for you, right? So in that maximum 1 year it is possible. Maximum 1 year. Suppose if supervisor not returned back to home institute, right? Supervisor settled there itself, right? Then automatically your supervisor in charge will become a supervisor for you. Sir, idella enga sir en supervisor, because we face, so right, we received lot of problems, different problems from different department, different institute, right? We get complaint against scholar from supervisor, right? Vice versa, right? So supervisor said, sir, my scholar is threatening me, right? I don't want to continue as a supervisor, right? That is also, we have received several complaints. Like, see, this is misunderstanding. These all because of misunderstanding, right? So we provide a solution to supervisor, also we provide solution to scholar also, for which exclusively we have in Center for Research has created a tab, grievance redressal cell, right? In your free time, you just see our web page, there is a grievance redressal cell tab. When you click, there is a mail ID which is available, right? You can post, suppose if you have any grievance, right? You can post. We have a dedicated grievance team, redressal committee we have, right? From IIT Madras, from experienced professors in the university, right? So by comprising, so this is VC constituted this committee. So far we have conducted more than 10 meetings. 10 grievance redressal meeting, right? And this in the meeting where the committee members, they provide the solution to the scholar as well as to the supervisor, right? So don't worry about if anything, like if any disturbance in your PhD journey, right? You please let us know. We are here to help you, right? And there are many reasons for change of supervisor. Just now I said supervisor gone to abroad, right, to execute his research work. Suppose supervisor got retired, right, retired, and whether scholar can continue under the supervisor because superannuated, right, is it possible? Yes, it is possible. By the time, suppose at the time of retirement, if scholar submitted synopsis, right, or thesis, submitted synopsis or thesis, once if you submit thesis, it will take minimum 2 months time, minimum 2 months time to get the evaluation report, right. We'll send your evaluation report to Indian examiner and foreign examiner, right. So if our time works very well, scholar get evaluation report in 2 months, minimum 2 months. Maximum, there is no time for maximum. There is no time for maximum, right. Sometimes it happens 1 year time, right, maximum 1 year time or 1.5 years time. There are various reasons. I don't want to go into what is the reason for this 1 year period of time, right. There are reasons based on the quality of the thesis. Sometimes examiner returns back the thesis, your thesis which is not in the quality, right, the quality of the thesis which is equal to ME degree, right. The examiner suggested many points to improve the quality of thesis, like so what happens, the student has to do more work in order to improve the quality of the thesis. So these are all the possible reasons. Sometimes it is unfortunately, sometimes, right, it may take 1 year of time to get the final report from the examiner, right. So to avoid this problem, what you can do is need a good research work, because as I said, 25,000 plus PhD scholars are coming out of this country, right. You are going to be one among them, right. So to differentiate your PhD with others, 25,000 maybe the inclusion of science and humanities, right. My degree is it's like civil engineering, but 25,000 mechanical, electrical, everywhere. Civil engineering also, there's a, like, for every discipline there are a decent number of decent number of students they are completing PhD each and every year. To differentiate your degree with the others, like your publication speaks a lot, right. So that's why last week where we have issued on awards to PhD scholars, so recently where we introduced awards, right, for supervisor as well as scholars, right. So if you have one publication in Q1 journal, right, quartile 1, Q stands for quartile, right. How do you know Q1 and Q2? There are various like the citations, one of the speaker from Web of Science, right. So the Web of Science, they have their own list. They categorize top quality journals as Q1, right. Then the next level of top quality they categorized as a Q2, right. We suggest here, when you go for Q1 publication, if you have one Q1 publication, right, research publication, not review paper, research publication, you will get a certificate of recognition or appreciation, right. That certificate will be given to the scholar. I think in the last year there are around 200 plus something, but I'm not sure about the count. Scholars received this certificate, and last year only one student received outstanding PhD thesis award. So because every year from Anna University there are 1,400 to 1,400 scholars getting degree each and every year, right. So in the last year, out of 1,400, only one student, it's like it's the pathetic, right. So only one student received PhD degree, outstanding PhD thesis award from our own CEG campus, So for outstanding PhD thesis award, you need 5 publications. Right, in Q1 journal. But here in these 5, you can claim research article, you can claim review article. Both are allowed here. But remember, this publication should be in regular issue, not special issue, right. Most of the scholars, the last time the 11th hour they face problem while submitting synopsis, which is nothing but paper publication in special issue. Remember, we accept scholar synopsis only when the scholar have publications in in regular issue. Not special issue. When you look journal, there are around 11 to 12,000 journals we have listed in our website. You should publish your research outcome only in those journals. The journals which is not listed in our web page, right? In those journal, if you publish your research outcome, we won't accept those publication. You cannot claim those publications in those journals, right? We have our own journal list, right? So before going for any publication, you please cross verify whether that journal listed by Anna University or not. And also we have issued one circular related to how to find out a predatory journal, fake journal, because in the same name there are different websites operated by some group, a third party, right? Which is correct, right? For which we have given circular how to cross verify. Sir, இதில் என்ன சார் இருக்குது, எல்லாம் மேலே இருக்கிற பார்த்து பாரு, என் கைடு பார்த்து பாரு, right? I do not know anything, like the guide only. See, it's like the duty of scholar also, because after completion of your PhD degree, wherever you go, you are going to show your publication, right? If you want to pursue a PDF, their immediate they check where how many papers you publish, what is the type of journal, whether it is Q1 or Q2. Right, so that so the quality of the journal, it's very much important, right? You please aware that for a same name there are some predatory journals operated by some third party, right? To make sure, right, you should go for only the authenticized website, right? For which we have given circular how to verify the correct journal. You please go through our all the circulars, right? So supervisor migrated to other university, right? From Anna University, supervisor joined somewhere else in Karnataka or Andhra or even Tamil Nadu, some SRM, VIT, right? Whether can I continue PhD? Yes, it is possible, provided if synopsis already submitted. Synopsis already submitted, right? The supervisor though migrated to other university, it is possible, right? But for which supervisor should allocate one research coordinator working in Anna University, whether these UDs are affiliated college, right? One research coordinator is essential to take care of, because all the meeting, one supervisor migrated to VIT, right? And where scholar will conduct a meeting, right? We in VIT, which is not allowed as per our regulation, right? But scholars meeting should be conducted only in colleges affiliated to Anna University, for which one research coordinator record, right? Who will allocate a research coordinator? So your supervisor nominate one research coordinator. Suppose if your supervisor do not know, you please knock our door, right? We will provide a solution to identify the research coordinator, right? If is migrated. There are various reasons where you need the change of supervisor, like the main thing I would like to, okay, see, coming to the duration. Yes, this is important. Like in the inaugural section, VC sir said the purpose of this program to reduce this PhD program duration. Like because for any degree there is a definite boundary, 3 years, BSc 3 year, BE 4 year, there is a definite boundary, but there is no boundary for PhD, right? Sometimes, like, you can, as per norms, as per our university norms, 2 years which is possible, you can complete within 2 years, right? Not 2 years, strictly speaking, as per our norms, at the expiry of 1.9 years, you can submit your synopsis and thesis, right? 1.9 years, that's the minimum duration. If you want to complete your PhD program at the expiry of 1.1 year 9 months, it is possible. We accept your synopsis, provided you should have two publications, right? Listed in our journal, right? If it is, because there are some students, they join PhD program 1.5 years, like before 1.9 years, and they submit a synopsis. So if, as I said, minimum 2 months needed to get evaluation report, right? So within 2 years, there are students, they received their PhD degree. Remember, this is lesser than BSc degree, this is lesser than BE degree, or this is equal to your ME degree. PhD program 2 years which is possible, right, for which you should have 2 publications, right. These 2-year norms applicable for students or scholars come from engineering background or technology background, right. For science and humanities, minimum duration full time, I'm talking about full time, right. Minimum duration for full time engineering and technology background 2 years, right. Minimum duration 3 years for S&H scholars, full time, whereas in part time engineering and technology background 3 years, and for S&H background 4 years, right. Student completed like the student doing research in MBA, but their UG program in engineering, right. Whatever the norms given for engineering, those norms applicable for scholar doing research in MBA, right. So scholar doing research in MBA whose UG program from S&H, whatever the norms given for S&H, that is applicable for his PhD program. Got it, right. So full time means 2 years, not 2 years, 1.9 years or the expiry of 1.9. So accordingly, now itself you can start plan, right. So but to finish 2 years, there are a lot of factors. There are different problems you will face, like sometimes even scholars not able to complete coursework within 2 years, right. Actually we say like scholars supposed to finish coursework within 2 years, but sometime what happens, scholar finishes their PhD degree within 2 years, right. So accordingly you should plan, like that's why for recently, like we have introduced scholar can take papers coursework from NPTEL, right, online. So from online from NPTEL you can choose 4 papers, need not necessarily to do coursework along with classrooms like here ME students. You can take NPTEL course, right. That is possible, like even the last year where we restricted only 2 papers from NPTEL, we are given that condition, but recently the 2 we have removed off, right. Even 4 paper you can take from NPTEL, right, you can enjoy. So there are many restrictions earlier followed in university, everything which removed in order to create good ambience, research ambience in the university, because some scholars they face, because normally the coursework, how many papers need coursework? 4 papers, and you should the 4 papers minimum 12 credits put together. For the 4 papers 12 credits you should have, and the 4 papers and CGPA, minimum CGPA overall 7 CGPA, you should secure 7 CGPA. Less than 7 CGPA, what will happen? What is the remedy for those scholars? Yes, there are some scholars like they scored less than 7 CGPA, like for which with the approval of a doctoral committee member, scholar can take one more paper related to his or her research work. Then based on that new paper, right, if in the new paper if the score is good and overall if it is 7, right, where the scholar can continue for confirmation meeting. Clear? And sometimes the scholar also scored fail grade, right, it is also there, the fail one time, say 2 attempt for 1 paper which is permissible. Clear? 2 attempt for 1 paper. Suppose one scholar failed in a particular subject, second time even for writings, or second time also he scored a fail mark, right, third time it is not possible as per norms. So it is better to take other fresh paper with the approval of doctoral committee members. The approval of doctoral committee. From our, as per university norms, the doctoral committee, there are 2 members, 1 member from Anna University, other member from other than Anna University. So for the benefit of the scholars, in addition to doctoral committee meeting, there is one more committee for all of you, research advisory committee. Scholars joined in university department, irrespective of the discipline, irrespective of the faculty, irrespective of the mode of the program, full time or part time, all the scholars, like you are all, you should give your presentation before the research advisory committee, right? The research in that meeting, right, where the committee members from reputed institute, it's like around there are 10 members sitting in the committee, right? Why? Because from 10 members you will get good input, right? That input definitely helpful to find out correct objective. That is the purpose. That's why VC sir said, see, you get a correct answer when you shoot correct question. For wrong answer, you never get correct answer. For wrong question, you never get correct answer. That's why sir suggested to formulate a research advisory committee from other reputed and our research expert from our own institute and other institute, right? So where you will get some good output, good informations. That informations are useful to reduce your PhD duration, right? So it is mandatory before going for confirmation meeting, right? You should complete this meeting, research advisory committee meeting, right? Where in which you should present your what you are going to do, right? Those information you supposed to present in the meeting. So the committee members, they fine tune your research work, right? So this because we got a really good feedback from your seniors stating that because of that committee meeting, they got good ideas how to proceed their research program, right? These are all, see, we have taken steps to smoothen your PhD program here, right? That's the purpose. Okay, then, okay, these number of years, yeah, doctoral committee I said, and okay, maximum, as I said, minimum year, maximum year, what is the maximum limitation? 6 years, right? 6 years which is allowed, minimum duration to maximum 6 years, right? Even sometimes what happens, some few colors not able to complete beyond 6 years, right? For which 1.5 periods grace period time which is given by the director and vice chancellor. So maximum you should complete your PhD program within 7.5 years. Within 7.5, so that is the additional 1.5 period extended time which is given to you in order to complete your PhD program. That's the maximum duration, right? So I said how to check the paper journal, right? So how many papers needed? One paper is enough to submit your synopsis. But if you want to complete within the minimum duration 2 years, you need 2 papers. You need 2 papers, and so you should aware about the plagiarism also. So since time limitation, I'll straight away go to the plagiarism. Yeah, this is the plagiarism norms what we follow here based on the UGC norms, right? So in your you should check your journal article, right? Before going for any publication, you please check whether your paper contains any plagiarism, I mean other paper information, if it is carried in your paper, right? So that is permissible, but within 10%, not more than that. Not more than that. So if it is more than that, you please reface the statement in your paper. So the idea actually, you should not steal others' information. That is the idea, right? So use your own information, don't copy from others. Don't, otherwise you will be in trouble. You will be in trouble. This unnecessarily delay your PhD program, right? So make sure your published your article before going for any publication. Thoroughly check whether the paper contains any plagiarism or not, right? And your published article, your thesis, right? Everything where the plag content should be less than 10%. If it is more than 10%, there are some penalties imposed by the UGC. Accordingly, we follow that. That is what which is given here. So if it is less, level 0 means similarities up to 10%. Well, that is acceptable. Your thesis is acceptable. Your paper is also acceptable, right? Then if it is more than that, more than 10%. Less than 40%, 10 to 40%, right? You should withdraw the manuscript. Remember, see, you already published your article in the journal, right? But when we deduct your paper, so some the plagiarism percentage more than 10%, right? So as per UGC said you should withdraw. Scholar should withdraw the article, the journal. Right? You cannot claim that paper. You cannot claim that paper. You should withdraw the paper from the particular paper. So, from the particular journal, you please be aware that more than 10% not allowed to claim those paper. This is remember, this is for publication. UGC clearly said penalty for publication, penalty for thesis. Right? For paper published article 10 to 40% withdraw the manuscript, that is level 1, level 2 40 to 60%, right, withdraw the manuscript and shall be denied a right to one annual increment. Your supervisor, like this is suggest as per UGC says, supervisor increment cut by 1 year, right, that's a problem, not only problem for you, right, the supervisor also face the problem, right, these are norms given by the UGC, right, and shall not be allowed to be supervisor, right, to any new master MBL. See, new scholar also not possible to take by the supervisor, right. So please be careful about this plagiarism, and more than 60% again two increment, right. Finally, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, for publication, that is for publication. For thesis, less than 10% allowed. If it is more than 10 to 40%, right, where you need to rewrite the thesis, rewrite the thesis and submit the revised thesis within 6 months. Within 6 months, but make sure that while resubmitting your thesis should have again less than 10%. Suppose more than 40% in your in your thesis, right? So again, where our Center for Research won't accept your thesis, you should come up with the revised thesis for which, right, 1 year which is allowed to submit revised thesis to Center for Research, right. So this is the penalty given by suggested by the UGC. Accordingly, here also we follow. So there is a software which is little bit software which is available. Your supervisor having login credential to check the plagiarism in your published article and thesis, right. So before going for any without supervisor knowledge, please note that without supervisor knowledge you don't go for any publication on by your own decision, right. So always get approval from supervisor and you go for publication, right. It happens sometimes, supervisor gave complaint, say, I do not know this student made publication without my knowledge, right. So you will be in a trouble, right. So always whatever the activity you do, research related activity, you please inform to your supervisor, right. So you can avoid the friction between scholar and supervisor. So with this information I will stop my lecture. If you have any specific doubt, one or two doubt, you please ask your doubts, or otherwise during lunch time I will clarify your doubts. Yes, please.
Sir, actually it was documented, so I wanted to clarify about the superannuation period, sir. Instead of the joint supervision.
Yes, sir.
So when should we start that process? After the retirement of the supervisor, or we should give the joint supervisor details before while joining, or?
No. See, so supervisor can take scholar till 58 years, age of 58 years, beyond which it is not possible, right. But a student already joined at the age of 58, right, or 57, right. But supervisor superannuated 60, right. But scholar not completed PhD, right. 1 year actually allowed. 1 year supervisor after its retirement, 1 year is allowed, right. If allowed, provided the scholar already submitted synopsis or thesis, right. If it is not, if the scholar the beginning of the research work, right, the scholar with the concurrence of supervisor, scholar can identify other fresh supervisor. No joint supervisor, research coordinator.
So any more clarifications regarding regulations? Regulations is always available on the website. Now at this stage, please remember that you should always refer regulations. You should be very thorough in regulations. Don't say that I don't know, I'm not aware of this at any point of time. You should read regulation, what is always available in our website. And if you have any doubts, you can directly come here and you can get it clarified. Okay. And one more thing, I don't know whether Professor has informed, it is not in website. So we have one grievance redressal committee. Okay.
I said.
Okay. So please be aware if there is any problem, and so you can always write to us. Okay. I think it is available in our website. So there is a separate link. You can always write to us. So any problem, any issues, please contact us. Okay. We'll try to solve it as early as possible. So I want to just thank our additional director with a small book. Sorry, sir.